Abs are made in the kitchen, and that's true. You don't have to train hard to get visible abs if you just fix your diet. In this video, I'll show you 5 foods I stopped eating that helped me get this physique and revealed my abs. I also show you the foods I started eating instead so you can enjoy what you eat every single day and still look like Brad Pitt in the Fight Club. Okay, boys and girls, so we're starting this list off with ultra processed snacks. This stuff is gonna wreck your abs and essentially your entire fitness journey if you eat them. Okay, there's much smarter ways to swap these. I totally understand the cravings for this food, but there's much more smarter things you could eat instead of this and still enjoy that food the same way you would enjoy this one. Because let's be honest, this food is enjoyable while you eat it, okay? That's why people do it, but most of the time you just feel like crap afterwards. Not only that, but you also look like crap, you also sleep like crap. And let's be honest, whenever you have this binge eat where you eat a bunch of gummies like French fries and stuff, the next morning, the next day, your face is bloated, you're feeling bloated, you're feeling like crap, right? And another thing I noticed is that whenever I had these binge sessions where you just eat a bunch of this ultra processed food before the night before, next morning when you wake up, you're hungry like really fast. You feel like you have nothing in your stomach. It's not like you ate a bunch of this food and you're like full for the next day. You're still hungry as hell. Now, if you're ultra marathon runner, if you're high performance athlete, this stuff could be added to your diet. I've seen some people do it and it's just fine because the body is just burning it really fast. But for most of us, it's a no-go, okay? The next one on the list is cereal. And a lot of parents still to this day think that cereal is healthy for their kids. If you think that, it's just like complete nonsense, right? The problem with cereal, especially if you have it the first thing in the day, it spikes your insulin and sugar levels in your blood that you're hungry so fast again. But it's not a good meal to have the first thing in the day, and it's not a good thing if you want to have abs, visible abs easier, right? The problem with this food is that you're not satisfying yourself for a long term, right? So what I'm going to show you what you should eat if you want to have abs easier and essentially like a leaner physique and maintain it, not just get abs once and then lose it, but actually what you can eat consistently and maintain it. The problem with this type of food like cereal, again, it raises your insulin, you're hungry much more faster. It's not really that healthy as most people think. Like for example, ice cream, you can eat ice cream instead and it's going to be much better for you. And I'm going to show you how to do it more healthy way. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? You're just essentially drinking empty calories. There's no protein in there. It's only filled with sugar. Like what is the worst thing you can do for your diet, for your physique? Of course, no calorie options would be better solution. Very occasionally I drink Diet Coke, okay? Very, very occasionally, or Diet Sprite or Diet Fanta. These options with sugar, you're just drinking empty calories, getting nothing out of it. Now, this one is going to be a little bit more controversial, but the problem with nuts, at least for me, it could be an anecdotal example, but at least for me, what happens is I am a big eater. I love to eat a lot of stuff. And with nuts, there's no fucking way I can just have a handful of nuts and stop eating. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to eat the whole bag, okay? And then the problem is that they are very high in calories. Again, there's much better options, which I'm going to show you instead of these. Nuts are great. They're filled with nutrients. They're very good for you. But the problem is that they're high in calories. And there's no way, at least me, that I'm eating a handful of nuts, a couple of nuts, and that's it. I'm eating the whole bag. And that's it. And then I'm just like, oh, nice. I just ate 700 calories of nuts, which could have been 4 scrambled eggs, avocado with bread, and some blueberries. Much bigger meal, much more, like it's gonna satisfy you much more than a bag of nuts. And of course, deep fried foods, pretty self-explanatory. It's just like, it's bad. It's really bad. It bloats you up. Your face just becomes fatigued. bloated. I mean, I stopped eating deep fried foods a while ago. I'm not a fan, especially if you eat them late at night. You're gonna notice that your stomach starts producing acid and it's difficult to fall asleep. I've seen some people deep frying Mars. Do you know Mars bars? They deep frying that apparently, and they're eating it. So let's move on to the Greek gods diet. First of all, if you are a breakfast person, props to you. I'm simply skip breakfast all the time. I've developed this habit of, first thing in the morning, I'm just having coffee on an empty stomach and I'm just working. Of course, it could simply not work for you. You might want to eat something right away. So for breakfast, I eat the breakfast at 12 p.m. Okay, 95% of the time is going to be 4 scrambled eggs with some blueberries, for example, and rice cakes. Okay, so 3 rice cakes contains around 100 calories, 4 scrambled eggs plus blueberries. In total, it's going to be like 600 calories. A bunch of protein, bunch of antioxidants from blueberries, and fiber from rice cakes. So it's just like very, very good, easy to digest. Before that, I have like 3 cups of like espresso with some milk. Now, more options for lunch, of course. I like to eat various of different foods. So lunch usually most of the time is going to contain some sort of meat. It's either going to be beef, chicken, or fish. If I had an intense workout that day, I usually gonna have carbs like pasta, and pasta is totally fine, by the way. I don't see a point of not eating pasta. I make myself like grilled chicken, pasta with cheese. So for protein in my lunch is gonna be either chicken, fish, or beef. Okay, for carbs, it's either going to be pasta, rice, or sweet potatoes, which is amazing. For veggies, it's most of the time going to be carrots. So depending on how I feel that day, depending what's in the fridge, I'm gonna make myself lunch that looks like this based on all these 3 main micronutrients. Snacks, okay? So for snacks, you're allowed to snack, by the way. So for snacks, I love to eat a bunch of carrots. The thing with all of this is I base this diet and this routine around the thing that I am a big eater. I love to eat in loads of volume. So for example, you can eat a bunch of carrots, you can eat a bunch of watermelon, you can eat a bunch of popcorns, like you can eat pumpkin seeds, right? You can eat a bunch of blueberries, rice cakes, Greek yogurt with honey, strawberries, right? So just think about it, like a handful of nuts is gonna be around 300 grams, maybe even 500 grams of watermelon. So where are you gonna get much more volume, right? Of course, from the watermelon. Or a handful of nuts, it's gonna be like, for example, popcorns is gonna be much more popcorn. I don't know exactly how much, but popcorns is way less in calories. So these are just smart snacks you can just snack on every day. And these all are very unprocessed, right? They're just few ingredients foods. So for example, of course, with rice cakes, they have more ingredients. With popcorns, they're gonna have more ingredients. But when it comes down to, strawberries, pumpkin seeds, they're very, very good, nutritious, organic foods. So you're less likely to overeat on them because you're gonna feel full and you're gonna stop eating. So these are some smart snacks I'm eating myself. This is the part where it's gonna be a little bit more controversial. But for dinner, depending on how I train that day, so for example, I started swimming again. So if I swam that day, I burned a shit ton of calories that day. I'm gonna have a protein oatmeal with blueberries, with banana, plus I'm gonna have either homemade ice cream. So I have this thing called Ninja Creamy. I mix 400 grams of Greek yogurt with protein powder, strawberry protein powder. And I froze it and I make myself, strawberry ice cream that looks like this, which contains around 80 grams of protein, by the way. Or I buy myself a protein ice cream from Lidl. This store called Lidl. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's called Lidl. I'm sure there's a lot of different protein ice cream options at the store. As you can see, it contains 433 calories and it has around 35 grams of protein or something like that. So that's for the dinner. I combined this thing, protein oatmeal, with some variation of protein ice cream. And of course, I snacked before or I snacked together with all of this. And for snack, I usually actually go with either pumpkin seeds with watermelon or strawberries with pumpkin seeds, right? pretty much eat pumpkin seeds almost every single day. It's very good for your skin, hair. It has loads of protein as well. It's just a no-brainer. So in total, I get between 2,600 to 2,800 calories every single day. I don't starve myself. I focus, again, to have foods that allows me to eat in volume because I'm a big eater and I also want to stay shredded. So it would be very difficult to do that if I ate the foods I just showed you in the beginning of this video. So if you found this helpful, you're also going to enjoy this video where I share not only the foods I eat, but the training and exercises I do to get aesthetic body. Thank you so much for watching.